Thanks for tuning in to another episode of All Things Entrepreneur, where we shine the light on the dark side of entrepreneurship. I'm your co-host, Jessica Myers.
And this is your co-host, Errol J. Allen.
And today we have with us a very special guest, Dr. Denocka. How you feeling?
I feel good. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, when I tell you the resume is great, you are an innovator, a pioneer in the tech space, engineer, wearable technology, changing the game, have mentored a lot of people that are doing a lot of things that are great in the technology space. How does it feel?
It's taxing. I could definitely tell you that. It's taxing.
Expand upon that.
It takes a toll on you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be everywhere at one time. Mm-hmm. Well, at least not yet.
Yeah. But I was like, are you working on technology that can change that? Because especially you talk about AI, it does give you the power to extract your knowledge. And like,
well, no. What I mean is it's taxing because it's almost like you always have to wear a lot of hats, whether you like it or not. You know, it's not always things go as smooth as possible. Sometimes there's hiccups. Sometimes there's everything. You ever heard of Murphy's Law?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely real over there.
Yeah.
Anything that can happen will happen.
So what is the driving force that keeps you connected? Like, what is your why? Like, we if you could speak to some of the accolades, we can start with where you are right now. Mm-hmm. Speak to some of the accolades, the people that you work with, the things that you've achieved. And then we can go back into where's the why that's centered behind all of that.
Well, my why has a few different components. It's almost like three. One of it is for my well-being. The other one is for my longevity, mental stability. And then the main why is because it's possible. And I'd rather have my life have some meaning than none. Like, my dash is going to be the shit. Like, when you've been to a cemetery before?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
unfortunately,
inside a cemetery, you see everything on the tombstone, but the main part is that little line between the rise date and the end date. Mm-hmm. So I just want my dash to mean more than just I was here. You know what I mean? I'd rather leave some things behind that's beneficial. Yeah. Not just for the community, but for the planet. Mm. You only get one.
Because you work with a lot of big names now, and your path has gotten you here. Can you speak to some of the relationships that you have and what now looks like?
All those relationships has probably prepared me for what's now, because they all came with with different instances, different opportunities. One of the best relationships or the best projects I ever did for me was when I did Black Ink's tattoo parlor, made them the world's first interactive tattoo parlor. That was probably my favorite project because it was fun. Caesar let me create as I saw, and you know, it was an amazing experience. Mm-hmm. You know, it came with a bag too. I ain't gonna lie, it came with a bag.
Most importantly,
it was a different experience.
Okay,
you know what I mean. So, like, with a lot of the projects and innovation that we may come across as people, it's a difference when you get a chance to. When we say show our community, I'm not talking about like your neighborhood. I'm saying like the people that are mostly like you. Mm-hmm. When you get a chance to show your community different capabilities, you allow everybody's mind to open a little bit further to what's possible. Mm.
Mm. So what were we going to say? So
I was going to say, don't be afraid to flex the guns. Let's hear some particulars on the deal. You know, was it a reoccurring one-off hit? Like, what's the particulars behind the deal you did? Your favorite deal?
Oh, man, my favorite deal. It's so many of them because
Or the Black Ink one.
Yeah. So what is it that you did for Black Ink? I know you mentioned that you infused it and now they're high tech, but can you speak and expound upon?
Actually, yes, I can, because last night we went through a lot of trademarking, so I can't speak freely now.
Okay.
So with them, like usually when you walk in a tattoo parlor, you got to sit down, look through a lookbook, all this kind of crazy stuff. You got to wait till they done with whoever they was with to come and communicate. What we allowed them to do was when they came in, they can see the artist that they want through like an image. It was a big image of each artist that was tattooing in there. But when they tapped it with their phone, it allowed them to either book their tattoo appointment or also see all of the artist's work.
Yeah.
But then not limited to following the artist on social media.
Yeah.
So we made it do a host of different things. But there was places inside of Black Ink, and all of this took place inside of the what do you call it? The lobby area, the waiting area. On the wall, they were able to tap it and see like episodes that they may not have came across on television. Numerous things from shopping for the products, like, you know, it was some pretty cool stuff that we did. So
one of the things I really want to point out is that you deal with NFC, which means that because when I met you, you know, we came with the, hey, you can scan my QR code. And then it was 5 steps, right? I had to unlock my phone. I had to pull up the camera. I had to make sure the camera was clear. Yes. And it's all of these steps. And you were like, look, you just did all that. And then you brought up your bracelet. Yeah. And you tapped your bracelet and it did the same. So what my 5 steps took me to do at this networking event with thousands of people, you were able to take down into 1 step in a tap. Yeah. Your technology, through your innovation. So that's the power of what you're creating by creating these innovative ways of taking, you know, people think a QR code is the only way to go, but it's such a disconnect for a lot of people who don't know how to operate that. And they can just wear your technology.
Outdated. Yeah, well, the difference is it's called the Techlet, right? I have one on. You see Michelle over there. She has one on too.
The Techlet?
Yeah, that's what you see it right there?
Yes.
It's called the Techlet. So the difference is like where we were at, that was the Global Hope Forum. What if I told you I wasn't even going to go?
That's generally how it goes.
I kid you not, I wasn't even going to go because the thing is, it seemed like the universe properly aligned everything for the meeting and all of that to take place. Yeah. Like they send me invites every year. Like it's never been a year that I haven't been invited. But this year when I came out, I was like, you know what? No, Michelle was like, it's right across the street from your office. You might as well just go. And I'm like, you know what? You coming with me? She was like, sure, why not? Blah, 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 blah. So, when I got there, it was ironic that it was a few people that already knew me. Also comfortable, but I think that was one of the most surreal moments for me in the inventor tech type space because. Like tech events don't normally look like that. And honestly, I wasn't there to even be about the tech. I was going to see the AI.
The robot. Yeah. Did you talk to it?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
We had a great conversation.
How was it?
It was pretty interesting. Cause at one point she repeated what I said couple of minutes before I even got there. So it let me know like how AI really, you know how they say your phone's listening? Yeah. They really listen. And what we're talking about is a robot infused with AI where you can ask it questions and it actively, intelligently answers. Well, so we actually had a bit of a conversation.
Now that's the difference is though, I'm going to tell you something. AI chats have been out since like 1997. Okay. Like literally. I first had the chance to thumb around with one in 2000. It was either 2002 or 2003. And then when I got to Georgia, I started coming across more and more and more. But they've been out for a minute. It was initially a chatbot. You know what I mean? What they did was they took a chatbot and housed it inside of
website or
inside of a robot. That's what Sophia is. Okay. She's a android, should you say? Well, one of them, because there's a few of them. You got Sophia, then you got the one that has the black girl's consciousness that was copied.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like the original one is a black lady.
Okay.
But I think her name is Rachel or Patrice or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's hers. Like it's her consciousness, okay, put in audio format to respond. Like, so she doesn't know that she's
AI, or she's
exactly.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
So how do you infuse this? I mean, since you did the synchronistic moment, you came because you weren't supposed to come, and you had the happenstance, to meet the people that you did there. How do you infuse that with your technology now? Like, how do you infuse the progression of AI with your technology?
Well, this is the thing. I'm not adding AI to my technology.
Okay.
I thought about it. Believe it or not, I did do a kind of experiment.
As you're a scientist,
it was something that we had presented to Sid Garrett, the general manager over at Bentley Atlanta. So we had basically an ideal day where, I came up with a couple of different devices and a couple of different products that they may be able to add to their cars or whatsoever. They love the Inmints and the Techlets. The other stuff that I kind of hit them to was a little bit different. So my first time, actually, it was something I created called the Wingman.
Mm-hmm.
So most people that buy luxury cars, they suffer from a lot of depression, believe it or not. But in the instances of that kind of depression happenstance, it gives them someone quick to talk to or to chat with. If it's a 2-seater car, it's not like a lot of people could go.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So with that one, I added an AI chatbot to it. It allowed you to tap, but it brings them right to life. Instead of them already being active, you have to actually activate them.
Yeah.
I don't know what they decided to do with that. You know what I mean? But yeah. that was my first and only time ever utilizing AI with the technology. Because like in the reality of what it is, like, you love it, but you don't know exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's the thing in science, is research. Either it's an absolute or it's not. It's only one or the other. And with the way things are growing, I always say I love the uses they have for it now, but remember, Elon Musk told y'all it's very dangerous, and he's not lying. He's very serious when he say that. I believe it to be dangerous for particular reasons of things that I know that it's capable of. And I'm not even the ones that my company, Push 2.0 Group, we're not the ones that got like the unlimited budgets the government grants. We don't got none of that. We did everything from the ground up. No PPPs, none of that. So when it comes to that, we don't have as much research in that space to be a definite voice to say what something actually is.
Okay.
Because we only don't know what we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you talked about how, everything you've done increases the user experience, for long story short. But I have a question in terms of the beginning. You said that what you do, you wear a lot of hats, it's very taxing. How has this impacted you on your personal side of life?
Can you elaborate on the question?
So, obviously, I'm assuming this is very work intensive. It requires a lot of hours. So, do you have a personal life? What do you do outside of work? How does that look?
Oh man, the things I do outside of work. All right, that's pretty personal. So I like to check out waterfalls. I like to have experiences. The funny thing is, I just became the type of person that has a vacation. My significant other, my girl, she makes me take vacations. After, if it's like something to do with after a speaking engagement or after a big project, she'd be like, all right, so which one is it? We going before or we going after? And I'm like, what? Yeah, we going to take a break and just what's the word she used? Process what's taking place so you can take it all in. I haven't always been the vacation type. Hear me out. Just hear me out. I haven't had the kind of upbringing where I was afforded to be the vacation type.
Okay.
That wasn't really for me.
Okay.
meaning it wasn't a part of something that I saw. So, like, the things that I do outside of work may not be like everybody else.
It's like work. But then it's like being yourself in nature.
Well, yeah, but this is the thing. For me, it's not even like work, because I quantify the time.
Okay.
So what I do is I look at it like this. You don't work so you could just work hard. You work so you can free up your time to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So for me, I look at it and say, all right, it's when I go to the office sometime, I could be there all day.
Okay.
But the way I quantify that day is different. I take 4 hours that I call my primary focus time. 4 hours, and that's when I'm like a fucking beast. Because for that 4 hours, I ain't talking to nobody. I ain't doing nothing but what I'm focused on, and that's it. You know what I mean? But the following 2 hours, I might take and go work out. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, like, where I build the technology at now on Peachtree, like downstairs, there's this gym, and I use it. You know what I mean? Religiously, because for me, even for me to be able to do something outside of work, I gotta have the energy. And a lot of times, with what I do is I'm solving problems. I'm solving complications. You know, you asked me something earlier. You said, what is the user's experience like? I just want their experience to be faster and allow them to connect instead of just network. You follow what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually when you see people that pass out cards and things like that, they're not really connecting. They're networking. Now, if you're trying to do something outside of the office, but you're trying to solve that kind of problem, it's not going to be much, but the things that you do is not going to be what everybody's accustomed to. So for me, when I'm outside the office, I don't think about it. But, you know, it might be Disneyland. It might be a mountain that got a waterfall deep in the pocket where we got to hike maybe like 30 minutes to get to it. It might just be that. Or it might just be, what do you call it when the holidays come? Those lighted areas where everybody's house is dressed up.
I just call them light. We used to go to lights.
Yeah.
Like we used to go to rich neighborhoods and look at the lights.
Like, I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really love stuff like that. Those the experiences. I like the experiences where you don't have to pull out your phone.
Exactly. Where you can be present in the moment.
Yes.
So it's almost like shifting your energy so that you can stay in that creative space. Because one of the things as entrepreneurs, you're solving problems all day, which means that you're dealing with a lot of problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like, how do you separate your brain from trying to solve a problem and just enjoy? And a lot of times you can find that in nature.
Well, yeah. I also find it in weed.
That too.
So,
just being honest.
Yeah.
With your company Push 2.0 group, did you because you said you took on no PP, no none of that, so you 100% self-funded it?
Yes.
How did you go about acquiring the funds to do that?
I built one device and sold it.
Okay.
And then I sold another one. And then I sold another one. And then the other companies that I own, I use to fund it. So I use my other talents and give to fund my passion. You know, science was, I don't even know if you could call it a passion. It was almost like an obsession because I've been obsessed with it since a kid. So I always wanted to build things since a child. There's never been a moment where I didn't want to build something. So the PR firm, the newspapers, the other things that I owned just as an entrepreneur, I used that to fund those things. But then it was like those things started funding themselves. You know what I mean? It's because when I first developed it, it was ahead of its time, so nobody knew what it was. But it took a few years for technology to catch up with what we were building so it'd be able to be usable by everybody. Yeah, mass. So when you say like funded, adaption. Like it was the big projects that I had got first. Like it wasn't the wearable devices that build the funds for it. It was like when we started using it on buildings and in community structures or for studios or for different businesses. The B2B process is what started the funding of it. And to be honest, during that time, I, from school, my credit was messed up for a minute. So certain funding wasn't like even on it. I didn't even know it existed. You know what I mean? Because most of what we see get funded in our community is what? Studios, food, another hair salon, some bullshit. I have to say it that way.
Yeah.
There's not many black research facilities, science laboratories, or things like that exist. You know, when most people talk about technology and black people, everybody want to think of an app. Nobody's actually thinking of devices or different products that can make our experience more humane and more better.
So you think outside the box?
Nah, just don't even use a box.
Do you identify yourself as an entrepreneur or more of something else? Like, I know you call yourself a producer, but, you know, obviously it falls under the entrepreneur umbrella. What about yourself? Are you more like an inventor or?
Just Denocka.
Just Denocka.
That's it. Just Denocka Wardrick.
Okay.
I don't consider myself an entrepreneur because I think people use that term too loosely and they don't know like the real ups and downs of it. Like they social media has made it so bad that they just show them like the highlights of, you know, when they're closing the deals or they show them when things are going good. They don't really, I haven't really seen the person show you when shit is going bad. You know what I mean? Like, when I didn't have a laboratory and I was building, you know, my devices out of a fucking abandoned house, like literally those days exist. But if I try to explain that to somebody, one, a lot of times they wouldn't believe me.
Yeah.
Like I lost more than I have won. But my wins have been like so dope in the way that I receive it, that it levels it out.
Okay.
So people don't really show the losses in entrepreneurship.
So speaking of that, let's shine a light on it. What is one huge lesson that you've learned from one of your biggest losses?
Shut the fuck up. Because, you know, things that I took as admiration, in reality, it was like thievery. But it wasn't thievery because I didn't protect myself.
Ooh.
That's just the truth. Like, there were moments where I'll put it to you like this. Instagram, what I like about Instagram is that it holds history. You can actually see the date that I first started the development on this. And you could cross-reference that when these other companies popped up. They didn't pop up before I existed. They popped up after I existed.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
You follow me?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not mentioning them because I'm not giving them no free promo. I'm not doing that. But
yeah, that's why I was like, "What's the lesson learned?" We ain't got to get into it because
the lesson is do the best you can and shut the fuck up.
Okay.
You know, like really, and people even take that terminology, do the best you can, lightly. If you really knew what it meant to do the best you possibly can, you can't fail. The universe doesn't conspire against you. It conspires with you and for you.
Okay. Everything is happening in your favor.
That and everything has already happened. You just got to switch to that frequency.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's the basics. Y'all call it spirituality. Science world is the basic foundation of quantum physics.
Like you said, it's a law. And a law is a law in any dimension.
It doesn't matter which way you look at it.
Exactly.
You know, so I looked at that. The things that I learned from it was, you know, everybody loves you when it's going good. You know, when you get that good run, everybody, they love you. But fuck up. And that's when you see who's really there.
Yeah.
But see, what happens with most people that's out on their journey to build something or create something, when they have these mishaps and these mess ups and things like that, they let it hold them there. And it's not even a complacency, it's more like a sentence. You know what I mean? They let it hold them there. Versus you're supposed to learn from it, utilize that information for when it does repeat, you know how to react to it. You know what I mean? So as an entrepreneur, I've been through it all. And one thing I could tell you, the last position you want to end up in is being famous and broke. You don't want that. I'd rather be rich and anonymous. I'm not focused on anybody knowing who I am, what I do, how I do it.
Yeah.
So last question for me, or maybe two-part question, because you just got me interested now. When you was building stuff out of these abandoned houses, was there power in there? How you doing this? I'm just curious.
Because he deal with bandos.
Because I'm like, you build stuff. I mean, I fix abandoned houses, but I don't develop devices out of it.
Yeah, but you know how we get electricity.
I got you.
You know how we did it.
I was just having to make sure.
Exactly
I
how
already
we did
know.
it.
I already know.
So that was my side.
Extension cord.
That was my side.
Nah, you don't need no extension cord. You just go through the back of the power box.
Okay.
See all. Wait, I don't know. Well,
no, we got it.
All right, yeah. Okay.
Nah, you good?
I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I can't. I could, I'll just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just.
You know how the hell we did it. you know how I did it. But it's not. Don't get me wrong. That's not the right thing to do. But I had to do what I had to.
By
do.
any means necessary to get the vision done, and that's why it's so important when I start off with anything. It's like, what's the vision? What's the why? Because to your point, when you go through the toughness and you don't have the resources, but it's by any means necessary.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'll tell you something about that. There'll be people around you who have the means and resources to help you, and they still won't. But once you get it without them, once you actually achieve that without them, that's when you see the real them. If they really cared about your vision or not. But it's not about them caring about it. As long as you care about it, it's like you can't pray for rain and get mad at the mud.
Ooh.
Good point. So in closing, what big project are you working on today? If you can talk about it. If you can, I understand. If NDAs need to be signed, I get it.
Well, this is the thing. I realize this. I only talk about what I trademarked. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The other stuff that's being built, I would love to give y'all an invite to, some of the demos.
Okay.
So you can actually see it. At least then, certain, because again, with what we do with near field communication, we're developing every day. There's not a day where, I don't care if I'm taking a piss in a bathroom, I might write an algorithm on a piece of toilet tissue and save it. And once I get back in the lab, start building it. It happens like on the regular. Like with the things that are coming now, like I would say this: if anybody want to visit any of the places that the technology was done inside, like actual locations, y'all could check out Peachtree Pharmacy and Peachtree Corners, which is owned by Dr. April Hang. Hopefully that place is still open. You got Black Ink. You also have Icon Studios, but that's the wing you're looking for in there is past the AUG Studios. Yeah, there's a few places you could go and check out some stuff.
Yeah. So what's the big thing that you have on the horizon as we wrap up, or what do you want people to know about you or take away from this? Because I know you mentioned you move inside.
I would say this, like everybody that like the techlets, that's one thing,
by the way, I don't know if you got the testimonial from one of the guys that, we connected with that was there. Uh-huh. It literally, I think before then he had connected with so many people, but by the time he put on the techlet, it exponentially grew to, I think he had over 100 contacts. Like I said, I don't know if you got the direct.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you like this, because it allows you to be easier.
Yeah.
It allows it to be easier.
So you make connections easier.
Yeah, but the new thing, I'll just give you this as a clue. You will still be able to do this, but you won't need it.
Oh, uh-oh.
Chips.
Uh-oh.
You won't need it.
Uh-oh. So it's like if anybody is wondering, we're talking about like the how you take your credit card now and go to retailer and you just like tap it.
Nah, it's when I say it goes. I really want to say it, but
yeah, like, you don't have to.
I'm looking at a corner and they like I can't say nothing about it until the patent is in the system and trademark. But I will guarantee you this, and I will promise you this, and mark my word, I will invite y'all to the demo. Y'all will definitely be on my first invite list for the demo. The demo will be coming up. There are some talks about it being in New York Fashion Week. There's some discussions. I don't know if it's going to be solidified yet, but there's some discussions about it. But there definitely will be a demo going into the spring before winter's actually out.
Okay.
And then y'all get a chance to see a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I was like, if people wanted to stay tuned, like you said, for those moments, where can they find you? Where is the best way to find you?
Oh, man. Well, there's push2.0group.com. There's push 2.0 group on Instagram. Follow the laboratory. I'm not all that fun. You know,
well, you stay in the work. Your mind thinks in the matrix, and you're solving problems. So, like you said, the intention is not necessarily on you, but what you get to produce, and the legacy, more importantly, of the dash that you get to leave behind.
Yeah, like that's where it's at. If you don't look to the future for what technology is doing now, it's not even called being left behind. You're gonna be annihilated.
Ooh, yeah. And
I mean that in every sense of the word.
Wow.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your day to share some of your genius with us.
And as always, hey, stay tuned for another episode of All Things Entrepreneur. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. You know you got it. Let's get it. Let's go.